Hi, estheticians. I'm here on my couch right now, and I've had a really good past 3 days. And I was thinking about people always ask me throughout my life how I stay so positive and how I've created so much abundance in my life. And ironically, I was thinking about this all day, and I came across a video tonight which had information that I had been applying for years, but it was really interesting how they explained it. So I wanted to share with you guys. So the way I've created so much abundance in my life and gotten through hard times, I had times, we remember the recession. I've had times where I didn't have very much. And what happened when I didn't have very much is I decided one day I'm going to reprogram my life. And I didn't know how to start, but I started studying lots of different things, and there was a common theme. So the piece I learned tonight, which was really interesting, is why do rich people stay rich and poor people stay poor? And it's our programming. And we are definitely responsible for programming ourselves, but here's the kicker. If you grew up struggling, or you went through a long period in your life where you repetitively struggled, you have to work hard for a little while to reprogram your subconscious. So this is not your conscious mind. This is your subconscious, and it determines 95% of your success. So, and this full moon has brought on a lot of amazing energy. I think it's a harvest moon. I always get a lot of really good inspiration and energy. To continue, until 7 years old, our subconscious is programmed by whatever is around us. So if your family was really negative or really poor, or the opposite of that, you are naturally programmed to be rich, be poor, be positive, be negative, but you're not locked into that system. The problem is people aren't always motivated enough, or they don't keep themselves driven enough to reprogram themselves. I think it took me, oh my gosh, it took me, I would say 2 to 5 years to reprogram the path of my abundance. So I was lucky that I grew up with an entrepreneurial father. He's opened 35 restaurants. So thank you, Father, for your subconscious programming when I was a child. But I also grew up with some negative patterning in my family where I didn't have a positive self-image. I didn't love myself. And that really affected me through my teen years. And I'm using myself as an example because you'll have your own version of this in your life. So your subconscious and conscious mind are very important to understand. Your subconscious runs your whole life, 95% of what you do. The problem is we don't know how to reprogram that. And by 7 years old, your whole subconscious is programmed and will run on that program until you reprogram it. And the only way to do that is repetition. So things that I did were, I made a dream board. I did really funny things where people would be like, what is going on with your water bottle? I was like, what do you mean? What's going on with my water bottle? When I'm laughing, my eyes are watering here, but I had the funniest water bottles for 2 years, and people were like, why is there writing all over your water bottles? And many people thought it was strange, and some people were really interested. Well, water can be programmed just like our subconscious, and I used to drink my intentions, and holding that water bottle every day with those words and intentions and things I was programming myself for were reminding me by repetition what I wanted to go towards. And I swear within a couple years, everything changed. So it's not just your intention and making one dream board and, not really paying attention to it after that. It's continuously repeating it. So if you're not happy and you want to be happy, I just shared a post where I'm going through those womanly changes like many of us have or are or will be. And our hormones and different things can affect our mood all of a sudden, or something with our health or our thyroid. And sometimes we get really down for all different kinds of reasons. And the only way out is to reprogram your subconscious when you're going through that. So through this whole struggle for me recently, I woke up every day saying, I'm happy. And that was not how I was feeling for 4 weeks. I was waking up like, oh my God, can I get through my day? And sure enough, 3-4 months later, I swear with this moon, all of a sudden I felt like myself. And I may go out of that programming temporarily, but if you're persistent and you're consistent with what you want, you'll create it. So the programming that takes people down is the repetitive negativity. Now, one thing I don't like seeing, which this has come up many times, I don't know if all of you know, but I used to do massage, and I do a form of working with people on an energy level, on all kinds of things having to do with health. So I tune into people's lives. One small example, I had a client today and she said, do you pick up on anything on my health? Because I'm very intuitive. And I said, I see those wireless earbuds in your ears, and I don't know what this means, but you're getting an overdose of radiation. And she goes, oh my God. I said, I don't have those earbuds. I have a wire earbud. And then she said, I'm sleeping with podcasts streaming with my iPad under my pillow. And I said, what? And I said, you are totally disrupting, and this feeds into your programming. So you'll sabotage yourself with, whatever programs you don't want to be running. And your subconscious mind, what your subconscious mind will do to you is say, sure, put that iPad under your pillow. And if you go into your own iPhone, there's a way to look up the warnings, and it literally says, if you keep me on your body, I can create cancer. You know what I mean? So it's well known and studied that you don't want to keep a lot of these Wi-Fi devices glued to your head in your body. You want to minimize the footprint there. So anyway, when you have all this program going subconsciously, once it's all programmed in, you'll naturally do things to either move yourself in the right direction or move yourself in the wrong direction. Does that make sense? So the first bit of your subconscious is created by the time you're 7 years old. You're totally so your brain is in a theta state, which is literally the state it's in when it's being hypnotized. So until we're 7, we're in a theta state, and that's how your whole subconscious and your programs. So your brain is like a your system's like a computer. So if you're not very spiritual and you're not la-di-da, I'm gonna be abundant and go manifest everything, and you don't really understand the science of why that works. Your system's a computer, and you can program it and reprogram it. The problem is I think what I see all the time is people give up. You know what I mean? They try to tell themselves, I'm going to be happy. And they do that for a week and they stop. It took me 2 to 5 years to the point where I felt like, oh my gosh, all this weird stuff I've been doing, writing intentions on my water bottle. I mean, every little bit that you do counts. And that's why I believe, even when people talk about prayer and that kind of thing, whatever you set your mind on and you repeat, you will start to create in your life. So don't worry if you have a bad day or a week where your mind keeps trying to trick you, where you're going, I'm happy, and your mind's going, this is crappy, and this is crappy, and this is crappy, because that happens to all of us. But if you continue to take steps to program yourself the way that you want to be, it will pay off. But if you give up after a week, your subconscious is going to go back to which is 95% of the direction that you're going to head, is the way your subconscious is programmed. So the way that works, like I said, going back to my client with the iPad under her pillow, ironically, she's training to be in the health field and teach people about their foods, and then I was giggling, thinking, oh, and then you've got that iPad under your pillow irradiating your brain, and she has sleep issues. So that's your subconscious kind of sabotaging you, in my opinion. That's one example of many, but your subconscious will continue to tell you to follow the program that you're on. Does that make sense? So, and I can see some of you commenting. Hello everybody. So if you haven't watched this whole thing, go back and watch it, but it's really exciting and empowering to know whatever track you're on right now, whether you're really happy, that's awesome. If you're getting your programming and you've set yourself on the path that you want to be on, or you're going through a temporary hard time, or you've struggled your whole life, you can change that. And I don't know what it was. Maybe it was my programming from childhood. Like I said, I would say my thoughts towards myself, like self-love, was not strong from being a child, but creating the right moves in business were probably somewhat passed down from my family. So I was lucky to have that. So when the recession hit, something in my subconscious kicked in, and I was $20,000 in debt, which I've talked about before. And one day I woke up and I said, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to wake up every day and have anxiety about every possible thing I can think about and put more money on credit cards. I'm going to succeed. And that's when a huge step in my evolution happened, and everything that I was working on started to get reprogrammed. But that was multiple years of refocusing my energy, even when it was trying to go a different direction sometimes. So remember, 95% is subconscious. That's the way you're going. So your conscious mind is a very small percent of your success or your failure, or, and remember that both sides of the coin are part of all of our lives. So I try not to be hard on myself at this stage of my life when there's ups and downs, because it's not realistic to try to program yourself to get out of the challenges in life. So when I say you want to go from, let's say you have no money, you want to go from poor, stressed out, and you're in that kind of track, to abundant, you're still going to have challenges. And so it's not about manifesting out all of the negative experiences, because there's things we learn that we don't even know we're learning till a lot later, or we realize that at some point. But it is about understanding, despite the challenges and despite the good days compared to the bad days, that's all part of life. But you don't have to be stuck in a track that you're not happy with. So you can create abundance, and you will subconsciously start to go make the right choices when you are programming your subconscious consistently with what you would like. So like I said, the way I did it was dream board. I would do a certain amount every week of setting intentions and just thinking about those things. And it really helped writing a whole bunch of stuff on my water. And I really believe that water was also getting charged up, and that was filling, charging up the water in the body, but also just seeing those words over and over again was programming everything. So anything like that, the more repetition you can get to remind you, the more success, and basically getting your life and your energies on the tracks that you want to be on. That is going to happen faster the more repetition and programming, and repetition is the key. So if it doesn't show up repeating it for a week or a month or 2 months, you have to keep going. I didn't see the big changes for at least 2 years, and then 5 or 10 years into it, it was like, whoa. I mean, everything that I wanted to create, when I first started doing this, I created all of it, just to give you an idea, way before I thought I would. So you can all do it. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you again soon. I'm going to get going on YouTube again, and I'll make more content like this too, just to help inspire, hopefully. If each of us can help one person, then it makes all the difference in the world. Good night.